The Phoenix Path, reinvention after the storm. Welcome to the soft girl era, where softness isn't weakness, it's revolutionary power. I'm thrilled to share insights from my transformative conversation with Ashley Crockett, a visionary whose work has redefined what healing looks like for women in transition. Ashley doesn't just help Black women reclaim their narratives after devastation, she architects their renaissance. Her methodologies have created ripples of transformation across communities where women previously felt invisible, turning pain into purpose with a brilliance that can only be described as alchemical. Have you ever stood in front of a mirror after everything fell apart and wondered, who am I now? That moment when the career implodes, the relationship disintegrates, or the identity you've carefully constructed suddenly vanishes. That's not your ending, it's your invitation to reinvention. I used to believe reinvention was a luxury afforded to celebrities or the financially privileged, a special privilege reserved for those with golden parachutes and infinite second chances. But after deep conversations with Ashley and exploring the journeys of remarkable women who've transformed devastation into destiny, I have discovered a profound truth. Reinvention isn't a privilege, it's your birthright, especially for Black women who've spent generations carrying everyone and everything before themselves. When I asked Ashley about the most powerful transformation she's witnessed, she shared stories that left me speechless, stories that prove we are not defined by our darkest moments, but by how magnificently we rise from them. Consider Juliana Richardson. By her mid 50s, Juliana had constructed what society would deem a successful life in corporate law. Impressive salary, respected position, all the external markers of achievement that should have spelled fulfillment. But inside, a hollowness echoed. Growing up, Juliana had been painfully aware of the absence of Black stories in the world around her. This invisibility haunted her even as she ascended the corporate ladder. Corporate law had given her stability, but extracted her voice. She felt isolated in space where few looked like her or shared her lived experience. And when she finally summoned the courage to leave that world behind to pursue her passion, documenting African American lives through oral histories, she encountered obstacle after demoralizing obstacle. But here's where Juliana's story transcends the ordinary. Instead of retreating to safety, she transformed each rejection into fuel. Each closed door became a redirect toward her true path. In her late 50s, an age when society expects women to quietly fade into irrelevance, Juliana founded the History Makers, now one of the largest African American video oral history collections in existence. Today, her work is housed in the Library of Congress. The stories she's preserved have fundamentally changed how Black histories are accessed nationwide, all because she dared to reinvent herself when the comfortable path would have been to remain in place. Reinvention isn't about erasing who you were, Ashley reminded me during our conversation. It's about honoring all you've survived by becoming who you were meant to be. This is the first lesson from our dialogue. Resilience through reinvention isn't just possible, it's transformative. Whether you're navigating single parenthood, a career upheaval, or the aftermath of a relationship that no longer serves you, your journey through fire can lead to a more authentic and fulfilling chapter. But here's the truth that rarely gets spoken: reinvention is not a solo journey. And this brings me to the second powerful insight from my conversation with Ashley. We've all heard the phrase, it takes a village to raise a child. But what about the village it takes to rebuild a woman? What about the community needed to support a mother who's simultaneously raising children while raising herself from rock bottom? In Brooklyn, there's a program revolutionizing the narrative for single mothers, particularly Black women who are pursuing college degrees while raising children independently. The Jeremiah program doesn't just offer material support, it creates sisterhood, that precious, powerful connection that turns impossibility into I'm possible. Ashley shared the story of women like Nikisha Salmon, who entered the program feeling isolated and overwhelmed. Balancing parenting responsibilities with academic ambitions amid economic hardship seemed an insurmountable challenge. The generational cycles of limited opportunity felt too entrenched to disrupt. But through family coaches, peer support networks they call sisterhood, child enrichment programs, and financial guidance, something extraordinary unfolded. In 2024 alone, the program helped over 117 mothers advance their education while supporting their children's development. These women didn't just survive, they flourished. They graduated with honors. They secured positions that valued their intellect. They created stability for their families. But most profoundly, they discovered their own capacity for growth and leadership. As one participant told Ashley, before finding this community, I thought I had to choose between being a good mother and pursuing my dreams. Now I know that by pursuing my education, I'm not just changing my life, I'm changing my children's future for generations. This is the power of community support, the transformation that happens when women are given not just resources, but relationships, not just assistance, but affirmation, not just help, but hope. In the words Ashley shared from one of the program directors, we don't fix these women. We simply create the conditions where they can recognize and reclaim their own power. And isn't that what the soft girl era is truly about? Not weakness, but the strength to be vulnerable, not giving up, but giving ourselves permission to be supported, not abandoning ambition, but approaching it from a place of wholeness rather than hustle. This brings me to the third and perhaps most revolutionary insight from my conversation with Ashley, the transformative act of owning your narrative. Few embody this principle more powerfully than Joy Reid. As a renowned journalist and talk show host, Joy rebuilt her career after professional setbacks, including being let go from MSNBC, and continued breaking barriers in media representation for Black women. When Joy faced job loss due to her public stances and speaking truth on air, she encountered the double bind that so many outspoken Black women journalists face. Be authentic and risk your platform, or compromise your voice to keep your seat at the table. Joy chose authenticity. She leveraged her writing skills and self confidence rooted in her upbringing. I am my mother's daughter, she often says, referring to a woman who got on a ship alone to forge her path. Joy embraced her full self, cutting her hair short and blonde despite industry pressures to conform to conventional beauty standards. The result? She built new platforms beyond traditional television. She inspired peers and future generations through unapologetic self expression. She expanded what is possible and visible for divorce and single parents, for professionals rebuilding after adversity, for Black women claiming space in media. As Ashley emphasized in our conversation, Joy didn't just tell stories, she became living proof that owning your narrative is both personal healing and public power. This is the essence of what it means to reclaim your voice after life's storms, to recognize that your experiences, especially the painful ones, aren't just obstacles to overcome. They're the very foundation of your unique contribution to the world. When you speak from that place of hard won wisdom, when you create from that well of experience, when you lead from that space of authenticity, you don't just heal yourself, you create possibility for others who thought their brokenness disqualified them from greatness. I'm reminded of a powerful affirmation Ashley shared. My voice is not just for me. My healing is not just for me. My journey through fire has forged me into exactly who someone else needs to witness right now. So, where does this leave us? With three transformative truths. First, reinvention after adversity isn't just possible, it's your birthright. Juliana Richardson proved that it's never too late to pivot toward purpose, to redefine success on your own terms. Second, community support isn't a luxury, it's essential. Programs like the Jeremiah program demonstrate that when women support women, mountains move. Sisterhood isn't just comforting, it's revolutionary. Third, owning your narrative isn't selfish, it's necessary. Joy Reid's journey illustrates how speaking truth, even at personal risk, creates space for authentic self expression that ripples far beyond your own life. I want to leave you with a challenge that Ashley posed to me and that now burns in my heart to extend to you. Identify one area where you've been holding back from advocating fully for yourself. Today, even if it feels uncomfortable, take one concrete step toward reclaiming your narrative or asking for help. Whether that means reaching out to community resources like the Jeremiah program, starting that creative project you've postponed for someday, or simply sharing your true story without apology. Because your reinvention isn't just about you, it's about all the women watching you, wondering if they too can rise from the ashes. It's about your children learning what resilience looks like in real time. It's about a world that desperately needs the gifts that only emerge after you've been broken open and found the courage to rebuild. The phoenix doesn't rise despite the fire, she rises because of it. The burning is what gives her wings. Your fire has given you wings. Now is the time to fly. In this soft girl era, we're learning that softness isn't weakness. It's the courage to be vulnerable, to ask for help, to prioritize healing over hustle. It's the wisdom to know that dropping the superwoman cape isn't giving up. It's growing up into a more sustainable, joyful way of being. This is your permission slip to put down the weight you've been carrying, to reach for support without shame, to reinvent yourself not from a place of desperation, but from a place of devotion to the woman you're becoming. Because the truth is, you were never meant to just survive the storm, you were meant to become it. Powerful, transformative, life giving. And then when the winds have settled, you were meant to emerge as the clear sky afterward, expansive, peaceful, and full of possibility. The world doesn't need more women who've mastered the art of surviving at all costs. The world needs women who've mastered the art of thriving through reinvention. Women who understand that their greatest power lies not in perfection, but in their capacity to rise again and again, bringing others along with them. Your reinvention starts now. Your community awaits you. Your authentic voice matters more than you know. The Phoenix path is never easy, but with each step we rise together.